welcome. This is Paul Finck, the Maverick Millionaire, and this is Maverick Do It Different podcast. Today, we are doing it different, like we do every single day in the Maverick universe. You're talking about how to create more, how to do more, how to think differently, react to the world differently, and engage with life in a whole different way. You're in the right place. Let's get started, because today have I got something special for you. So grab your coffee, sit down, grab something to take some really good notes, and hold on to your seat. Let's take care of business right here. We've got a special guest on here today. It's Lil Barcaski. She is the ultimate in ghostwriter, publisher for you. She's been writing books and publishing for years now and has been in the business of helping entrepreneurs for well in a 30-year career. Written dozens of books, variety of genres, nonfiction as well as fiction, fictional memoirs and biographies, workbooks as well. You name it, you've got something that you want to put into a book and create it so that you can use it as a marketing tool for your world and your life, or get your message out there. This is the place to be. She's a coach, a consultant, runs teams of designers who handle the publishing needs for hundreds of authors. Please welcome Lil. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, and by the way, she also is CEO of GWN Publishing, and which is how you're going to find her. And we're going to let you in on all those secrets. Lil, welcome.
Thank you. You have such amazing energy. I love listening to you just take the stage. So it's great.
Thank you so much. We're here to talk about publishing, and you're a ghostwriter for so many people. Oh, should you hire a ghostwriter? Write it yourself? What is ghostwriting for some people that don't know? Explain.
I've actually had people ask me if I write about ghosts, and I did write a fictional story about a girl who talks to ghosts. So that's another story. It did very well, Gwen. But ghostwriter, all right. So most of the people, the famous people, I mean, not all of them, but many of them that have their name on the book, politicians, especially, sometimes sports figures, they didn't really write the book. They had someone write it for them. And ghostwriting really varies from me. A lot of times I like to work with a client where I interview them, record the interviews, and then I write, around what they've said and formulate a book. Some people just say, here's a bunch of blogs, here's a bunch of different things I'm involved with, go write a book, or here's the topics. And we actually write from very little. We'll give them a questionnaire and answer some questions, and we write a book. I prefer the personal one-on-one with my clients. I get to know them better. So, but basically there are many people who hire someone like me, and we do the writing, and my name does not go on the book. It would be, Paul's name on the book. And I've often been asked the question, well, doesn't that bother you? And I say, not when I, go to the bank. So it's not particularly cheap to do that. But as I carry the check to the bank, it's not a problem. But yeah, that's that one is it. That's kind of what that is.
Ghostwriting, people that do ghostwriting, and it's so funny you say that. Oh, does it bother you? You're doing it, and it's a great business, and you're doing it because you love to write their story and get it out there for them, which I've done other ghostwriters. That's the reason why you get into this, and publishing. And those are two things that most entrepreneurs, most business owners don't know. They don't know how to write their story. They don't know how to get their message out there. And they certainly don't know publishing.
No.
So,
no. I always say, I live in Florida where it's very hot and we don't mow our own lawns. There are people for that. I say, don't mow your own lawn, because it actually takes a lot more effort to try to create your own cover and interior, hiring piecemeal. When we put GWN Publishing, which stands for Ghostwriters Network. That's actually our website. We put it together as it morphed into more publishing. We realized I'd already owned a web company doing websites and graphics, that we could be a one-stop shop. So you're ready to do the book. You don't need to go anywhere else. We get you that. I really love that about my company, my staff. You come to us wherever you are with the book. If you want to write it yourself and you need some coaching, or you just need some editing, or you say, my mother was an English teacher and it's perfect, we take you wherever you are. and we then can produce the book. But most people need at least a little coaching, certainly some editing or proofreading, and then they get it published. And if they want a website or a speaker one sheet or business cards, they don't have to go anywhere else, which is what I like about us.
So explain some of that, which I think is a great piece and something that I see not everyone understands. When they produce a book, well, that's a physical copy of a book. What's my website about?
Speaking, majority of our, I want to say 80 to 85% of our authors, whether they're a single author or they're in one of our anthologies, we do a lot of anthologies and a fair bit of workbooks. They're out to teach, coach, and speak. So they have a program to offer. They want to get on stages. They want to have video of themselves, their sizzle reel or what have you. And that book isn't going to show that, no matter what you do. Even with all the QR codes we put in them, there's a big QR code to somewhere. So the QR code needs to lead to the website or to the thing that they do. And a website, and we do very inexpensive, very simple sites for a lot of people that just, like, we have politicians, again, we have, all kinds of people who want to speak. So that's right there for them. And then they can build on that as they get more, as they add more books, they can put more books on it. But it's definitely needs some sort of a hub beyond Facebook or LinkedIn, I think, to promote what you're doing.
So everybody who has a book should have a website.
I would say most of them, yes. And especially if, well, what I asked 3 questions when people say they want to write a book with me. I asked them who the audience is and what that, more or less, what's that going to do for the world? What's this book going to do for someone? So who are you helping with the book? I asked them, why should I listen to you? Which can sound a little rude, but I am Italian and from New Jersey. So I think, who the heck are you? And why am I going to listen? Why should I listen to Paul? And then, they'll give me a little bit of their credentials. I've done all these things. But the most important thing I asked them, I think, really is what's the book going to do for them? Because even though we want to be altruistic, and we want the world to be helped, why would you write a book if it's not going to do something for you? And the thing it's going to do for you is sell you, not the book. You're selling you. You're not selling books. So that book has to elevate your career. It has to make you more prominent. It has to make you the expert, as you know. So yes, you need something to back that up. And usually most people do have a website, and they're a place to put the book and a place to put who they are and why I should even buy this book. Question number 2. Right. So that kind of answers question number 2.
Yeah, it's so interesting. I meet people all the time and say, "Oh man, I'm writing my book." I was like, "Oh, why?" I'm like, "What do you mean why?" I'm writing my book. So what's your business? "Oh, I'm writing my book." And that's a marketing tool or a business, or unravel this for us, because people seem confused as to why they're doing this, why they would write a book.
Well, I'm not, and this may sound, counterintuitive, but not everyone needs to write a book. They really don't all need to write a book. However, you're going to be competing with people in life, unfortunately, no matter where you go, right? So the majority of people in business today don't just have a business card or a website. They do want you to know who they are. They write an ebook, a workbook. They write some sort of a memoir about their life because they want you to know who they are. That book does a lot of things for you to elevate who you are. It also does give you a tool to hold on stage when you're standing there. This is my book. To sign at the back of the room and sell there. That's a great way to sell your book. To go to a conference that doesn't want to pay you, but it needs a nice thing to give away. And you say, well, I can sell you my book for half the value of the book because you're going to get it very cheaply. And you could sell it for a couple of dollars more than the book, than you paid for it, a lot less than they would have. Now they've got your book. Now 2 things have happened. The producer of the conference has something lovely to give away to the people sitting at the chairs. And you now have given your book to all those people. It's in their hand. So they know who you are. I could go on and on about the reasons why a book is really great for you, but those are some of the bigger ones. And the least of all, it does make you the average person driving. Go down the highway, drive down any highway, right? Where do you live, Paul? Where are you from? I forget.
In Connecticut, and originally from New York, so I'm right around the corner.
Sure. We're riding down the. We're going down the
New Jersey.
We're on the New York Parkway or whatever, the New Jersey Parkway, and you just look to your left and look to your right, and all those people in the cars. they don't know, they don't have probably not written a book. They don't know much about book writing, and they don't know that everyone writes a book or that a lot of people write a book. They just think, oh my gosh, you wrote a book. And that's a majority of people have not written a book. Most people start to write a book, never finish it. And the few that do almost never get them published. So the statistics on that are terrible. So it does make you elevate who you are, and it does make you look more important to the general public and to the Chamber of Commerce and the local, whatever you might go to, right? So there's a lot of reasons, but it's a real big calling card. It really is.
It is the calling card. And I'm a firm believer in this. I've been in dozen books. It's what is used for a buzz factor, what's used for marketing. One of the key things that I heard from you is that the book is a piece of the puzzle. It's not the puzzle. And so it's the tool to unlock the doors to everything else.
I call it the mothership of your business for a reason. So, kind of like the Death Star in Star Wars, it's the mothership, right, from which all things come. Little things are shooting out at you, right? But here's the thing: once you've written your book and you want to go speak, how much easier is it to say, listen, Paul, I need you to come on, I need you to do 15 minutes at this conference. What am I going to talk about? Home Alone, right? So you go to your book, you go, all right, let me pull. Okay, I know. Chapter 3 really relates to this conference. You yank it out, you think about it a little bit, you reword it a little, and you got a speech. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, blog posts, social media posts. When you're stuck, go send your assistant, go yank things out of the book, pull pithy things that I said and drop them into my social media. It's right. Everything you want to do is right there. And we were talking this earlier. The workbooks are phenomenal. We do so many of these. You don't have to write 50,000 words with a workbook. You can pull off 15 to 20,000 words. And then after each chapter, I've got a book about entrepreneurship coming out. Well, 101 of how to get started if I'm new in business. I've been a nurse or a teacher my whole life, but I've never been in business, right? So this gives them things to answer, exercises to do, questions. I wrote one with an NFL football player from back in the 90s, and we wrote for kids. It's called Accelerate. And we give them things about how to get a mentor. We send them off to talk to people about that. So the book has all kinds of exercises at each end of each chapter that gives you a reason why the reader wants to come back to you and meet with you. And ask, so those are kinds of things we do. So a million ways to look at it, but it is your mothership. It's how you can, everything can come from it.
So if I wanted to write my memoirs, I wanted to get my message out, I wanted a book that would be the flagship book for my business, I wanted a workbook of any sort, all those pieces you could ghostwrite, if you will.
Yeah. Oh. I can ghostwrite them for you, or one of my staff can. I'm not the only ghostwriter on staff, but most of the time it is me. I'm the lead ghostwriter. But you also just might only just need someone to coach you through that, to help you out. The first thing we do is outline. I have a terrific program called From Pen to Published. And we try to say in 99 days, because we try to do it in less than 3 months. And we start with a couple of hours with me outlining everything for you, saying, okay, this is what we're going to talk about. And then, we get it all figured out. What are we writing about? What's the chapters we're going to do? What are the subtitles within the chapter? And then I send you off for a month, and you come back and you start sending me stuff. And most people have a pretty good idea then, because now it's color by numbers. Oh, I'm going to write about this and this and this. And they send me their work. I give them notes and comments. When the whole book is together within 90 days or so, it goes to my proofreader, who makes it, all the commas in the right place. Right. Goes to my typesetter, who typesets the interior and beautiful interior design. Cover design gets done, right? And then the whole book is up on your accounts for you to go make money. We don't take your royalties, and that comes in less than $5,000 a program like that, which is unbelievable.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
it's incredible.
Yeah. It's incredible, and they get my time, or if it's not me, one of my other coaches, but they'll get time with a coach. They do the writing, but we gently massage them along, so that they do a good job writing, and then it gets cleaned up perfectly and sent off into the world. And you can't beat that for that kind of price. So
no, not at all. And I got to tell you, the magnitude as an entrepreneur and the heavy lifting that you just described for a normal entrepreneur who's going through their day-to-day, building up a business, and the book is their tool to unlock the door, but it's not their business. And because of that, they shouldn't be spending time to do all this stuff, which will just hurt them in the long run when they do. And to lean into a company like yours is so powerful and so valuable to them. And most people don't recognize it. They don't even know, unfortunately, that ghostwriting is a thing, because the people that write the books aren't going to tell people, oh, someone else actually wrote this.
No.
And so they don't recognize what's out there, and it's not talked about enough in our circles, that there are ways to get things done that are faster and easier for the business owner and the entrepreneur to make it happen. And if you're a speaker, coach, trainer, this is, man, pay attention. Yeah,
it's essential. And look, it's always an equation, right? My mother was a mathematician. It's always an equation. It's time and money. If you don't have time to write, or you really feel strongly that you have no capability in writing, you hate writing, but you have the money to spend, then don't do that program. That's for a person who likes to write, doesn't want to spend a lot, but wants to get it done. You can hire a ghostwriter. It's quite a bit more than that. It's 4 to 5, more like 4 times that amount, right? But that's okay. And then you have time. Is time more important? Is what you're doing in your business more important? Or is it that you have time to do this because you're just getting started and you want to do the work and you need somebody to guide you? I don't recommend, and you're a coach too, I don't recommend doing too much without a coach when you're doing almost anything new. If writing is terribly new to you, you probably need a coach. If it's not new to you and you're really good at it, write the book and find someone to help you put it together. Very few people have the capability to write really well, to be sure that their diction and their punctuation and grammar is perfect.
Yep.
That they understand the program of InDesign, which is what you need to know to be able to do the interior properly, how to create an EPUB file. They don't know how to do a design for the cover, or what templates to use, and they don't even know how to upload the files onto an account without all that trouble. That's too much. If you can do all those things, you need my job. Don't do yours. Do that for a living. But if you're a coach coaching on trauma, or you're coaching on sales, likely you don't know all of the things I just mentioned.
Right.
Something in there, a lot of those things are things you don't know. Maybe the writing you might know, but probably everything else you don't.
I would almost guarantee it. I talk to enough entrepreneurs, they don't know any of that. No. They need your help. Yeah.
And nor should they. I can't do plumbing. I don't know how to fix the plumbing. Really, that's not my job. You hire the people who are good at what they do and do it well and have a reputation and a track record of having done it well.
Now, over the years, I've heard the terms like traditional publishing. Is that what you do? Is there some other terms that we should know? Like, what is this called these days?
Sure. We're what we call a hybrid publisher. There are a couple different kinds of publishers. So traditional is like, there are like 4 or 5 publishing companies. At this point, if you're not, Michelle Obama, there's a pretty good chance you're not getting it. Okay. And it's a very long wait process. You have to find, really have to find an agent, because they very, very rarely speak to you unless you are really famous. They have to know that you're going to sell 50,000 books, and they still make you go out and market yourself. And they take 70, sometimes as much as 90% of your royalties.
How crazy is that?
It's crazy. And I mean, look, I bet you, honestly, all kidding aside, I bet you even somebody like Michelle Obama or, President Trump or somebody, whatever, they don't care if they get 30% of that, because it's 30% of millions and millions of dollars, right? And they still probably take a lot of their royalties.
Oh, I know they do.
And sure, they do, right? But that's okay, because it's gazillions of dollars. So 30% of $100 isn't going to help you much. So they don't want you if you can't produce, right? So right. Then there's self-publishing. You can do it yourself. It's a lot of work. And then there's vanity presses, and that gets very much confused with hybrid publishing. Vanity press will tell you, we'll publish your book for nothing. No problem. We got you. The only thing is you need to buy, and I'm not kidding, minimally 500 to 1,000, sometimes 2,000 books at a certain price. we saved a woman who was told she had to buy 2,000 books at $7 a book. Well, that sounds pretty good, $7 a book. Except they're getting that book. They're really in the business of ink and paper.
Right.
And they're getting that book printed probably somewhere overseas for $2 or $3. So they're making $5 a book. And she was going to wind up with 1,500 books in her garage after she gave away the 500 she had planned to give away. So what do you think you're going to do with 1,500 books?
You're paying that because I've done that. I went down that road at one point in my past.
Horrible.
Oh,
Horrible.
pain.
And I said, where do you think you're going to store 1,500 books you're never going to sell? So we said, why don't we do this? Collect, right? You still have them. Send me one. So send me a couple. I'll use it for bookmarks. But seriously, you wind up using it for door weights or whatever.
Yep.
But look, I said to her, look, for less than $4,000, we will publish. We'll edit the book, publish it for you, and then go to Ingram Spark with me, and I'll show you that you can buy that same book for maybe $5. Give the women that you're giving the 50 books away to, and you won't have any sitting around. The whole thing. You don't have to spend $14,000 to have a bunch of books you're never going to use. So you have to look at the concept
of print on demand, which is great. That can order in small doses, small pieces as we need it. There's so many things here to talk to you, and so with all that we've talked about, we've got entrepreneurs, coaches, speakers, trainers, also people in a dozen different industries all around the world listening to this. Pieces of advice or last words that you'd like to share with our group?
Yeah, and so maybe the last thing I will say is kind of what we do. So the hybrid publisher, if you get the right ones, don't take royalties at all. Right? We get you set up. We get paid for what we do well, and that's the way to go with this thing. Write your book. Figure out whether you can write it yourself, or you need a coach, or you need someone to really, help you all the way. Figure out where you are in the process. Come talk to us. It costs nothing to talk to me, and we'll help you figure out the next step. But whatever you do, don't get stuck on someone who tries to sell you 1,000,000 books or wants to take all your money from you. Get someone who can put together a beautiful book with you, tell you how to get your account set up, put that book on your accounts, and then help you figure out what the next steps are. Do I go to libraries? Do I go to schools? Who can what kind of speaking groups should I belong to? We know all those things. We have dozens of speaking groups that are fantastic to join that will get you, onto stages. So that's the thing. Use it as a tool to elevate who you are, what you do, and your expertise.
Oh my gosh. Absolutely. It's such a pleasure. And you've got to pay attention. How can they reach out to you? How can they find you? Give us the way to go.
I love, believe it or not, talking to people. I'm very fortunate that I have a great staff, and I can spend a lot of my day chatting with folks who are thinking about what they want to do. If you're familiar with Calendly, I'm very easy to find as Lil, L-I-L, the Ghost. If you find me, go to Calendly and look me up, Lil the Ghost. You can find me, pick a time to speak with me, and I'll spend a half an hour with you cheerfully and talk about what you're doing. Our website is ghostwritersnetwork.com. That's Ghostwriter with an S, ghostwritersnetwork.com. And you can find a lot of our pricing is there. We're very transparent about everything we do. I'm available on LinkedIn, Lil Barcaski on LinkedIn. You'll find me on GWN Publishing. So GWN stands for Ghostwriters Network, but we don't ghostwrite most of the books, obviously. So we didn't want to put that on the spine of a book and have it be confusing. So.
Ghostwriters Network. Absolutely, Lil. It's been an absolute pleasure. For everyone, reach out, get a consultation, find out what this could really do for your business and your coaching, speaking, or any business across the board, and what it can do for your life. You want to be a published author. I am a firm believer in that. Been doing that for 15 years myself. It's time to catch up, get in the game. Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you. Ditto.
As you all know, we're all here on a journey. This is the Mavericks Do It Different podcast, and we're so glad that you've tapped in, you've joined our community, you're a part of this. Make sure to share this on Facebook and Instagram and every place else that we're at. the Maverick universe is looking to expand beyond all of our individual reaches, because as a community, we can do so much more. Keep reaching out, keep sharing. Let's get the message out there of all that we have inside of us that we want to get out and share with the world. We keep expanding. Be sure you do the same. Connect up. I'm here to say hello and here to be a part of your world as you are of ours. Thank you so much. This is Paul Finck, the Maverick Millionaire. This is the Mavericks Do It Different podcast. Till next time, everyone.
Thanks for being here today. As our gift to you, be sure to go to themaverickuniverse.com where you can download your free copy of the Maverick Manifesto. Until next time, dare to be different. Dare to be a Maverick.